So I've been using the new OnePlus Watch 3 43mm version after reviewing the Samsung Galaxy Watch 8, and I honestly did not expect this. I'm Mark, I make no BS tech reviews that anyone can understand, so if that's something that you like, definitely consider subscribing. First of all, incredible build quality. This 43mm version comes standard with stainless steel and at a price of $300, that is crazy good. The Watch 8 from Samsung is $50 more, and yet it comes with aluminum. And to be fair, I do like the look of the OnePlus Watch 3 a bit more than the Watch 8 because of its more traditional round design. And thanks to the way the straps connect to the watch, the OnePlus Watch 3 can lay fully flat, unlike the Watch 8. Not a big deal, but I know a lot of you guys go absolutely bananas if the watch doesn't lay flat down, so, well, now you know. Taking a look at the display, we're working with a 1.32-inch AMOLED display with a resolution of 466 by 466 and 1000 nits of peak brightness. Now, if we ignore all that boring tech mumbo-jumbo, all you gotta know is that this display looks good and readable in any lighting condition, and it's sharp enough to not see any visible pixels to the naked eye. Great, fantastic display, but the Watch 8 is a bit brighter, coming in at 3000 nits. The way I think the OnePlus Watch 3 dominates is honestly in two key areas, which I would argue are the most important key areas: battery life and charging. But this being a OnePlus device, it should be no surprise. This thing outlasts even my Apple Watch Ultra 2 when it comes to battery life. This gets me 3 full days of use, and yes, that is with the always-on display turned on, and yes, that is with around 30 to 45 minutes of workout tracking per day. As a comparison, the Watch 8, it gets me just a bit over a day. Now, the crazy part is, the OnePlus Watch 3 actually has a smaller battery than the Watch 8 does. Now, that is just nuts. We'll talk about more on how OnePlus did that little trickery. To me, having great battery life is, like I said, it's one of the most important things, because the less stuff you have to charge every single day, the better. Speaking of chargers, charging speeds are also fantastic, 0 to 100% in about an hour. However, a 10-minute charge will last you the entire day. Now that is impressive. So if you don't have, an hour to waste, put it on the charger for 10, 15, 20 minutes and you're good for the day, day and a half, maybe even 2 days. Now, how OnePlus managed to do this is actually quite interesting. This watch has 2 chips inside. So one chip is going to be your high power chip. That's going to be responsible for things like GPS, workout tracking, health tracking, so on and so forth. And then there's the second chip, which is your more low power chip, and that's responsible for timekeeping, notifications, and overall just browsing the UI. The switch between the 2 chips is not noticeable at all. There's no lag, no stutters. It seems to be going great. So when you're not workout tracking, when you're not using GPS, you're not even using the full performance of this watch because you don't need it. And I think that's awesome, because that means crazy good battery life. AI is a big deal nowadays, so of course, to absolutely no surprise, this watch does have Google Gemini model built in. A single press and hold on the digital crown will activate Gemini for you to ask random questions such as, hey, why don't all companies put in 2 chips into their smartwatches to make them last longer? Why don't more do that? That's a good question. I do wish the strap design was a bit cleaner, because this is like the typical design where like the extra slack is on top of the watch band, so this thing always just seems to come undone and then it just flaps around in the wind like a tail of a horse. With the Watch 8, however, the extra slack actually goes underneath the watch band, so it has this very nice appearance to it without having these little loops and stuff. Anyway, it probably doesn't matter, but you should know. Another thing I really like about the OnePlus Watch 3 is overall this is kind of more so for the OS side of things, but I really like the ease of use and like the understandability of what's going on. For example, with the Watch 8, if I search for an app, it's a bit tough because none of the apps have names, and most of the apps don't really look all too obvious as to what they open into. But on the OnePlus Watch 3, the apps do have names, which makes searching for an app much more easier, and it just helps people get more familiar with their app placements. The Watch 8 is in fact a bit larger screen-wise than the OnePlus Watch 3, so I have no idea why Samsung didn't add app names. Unless I'm going crazy, I'll double check. Yeah, no, I don't get it. There's no setting to turn it on. It's just no app names at all. And that's kind of odd. Both watches include heart rate monitoring, SpO2, barometer, am I having a stroke? Accelerometer. Yep, there we go. And an ambient light sensor. Now, the OnePlus Watch 3 does lack wrist temperature and ECG, which the Watch 8 has. Although technically ECG on the OnePlus Watch 3 is here, like it's there, but it's not in the US. So maybe for some weird regulatory reasons. So yeah, for me, I don't really care. I don't think I've used the ECG more than like twice in my life. So not really a big deal for me, but it may be for you. Support is another big one. Everyone likes to be supported through their tough times. So with the Watch 8, it's supported for 4 years of actual full OS updates and 5 years of security updates. With the OnePlus Watch 3, however, it is 2 years of actual OS updates and 4 years of security updates. So if you keep your smartwatches for a long time until they like die basically, this one might be the one to get. However, if you maybe change your smartwatches every 2 to 3 years anyway, this is going to be just as good. Now, the OS itself, just like most other smartwatches, is pretty self-explanatory. Once you've used one, you've basically used them all. So swipe down to enter the control panel, swipe up to see your notifications, and then swipe left and right to see your tiles, which of course you can edit so it shows exactly what you want. The bottom button is fully customizable. You can choose what action happens with a single press or a double press. Now, as far as accuracy goes in workout tracking or sleep tracking, I've had fantastic experience with the 46mm OnePlus Watch 3. So this 43mm, I was kind of expecting it to be just as good, and it is. The heart rate tracking seems to be as accurate as even my Garmin, which I don't have beside me, of course, right? Because that would be too good. It's just as accurate as the Watch 8. So, I mean, I see no difference whatsoever because mainly it's the same watch as the 46mm version. So, yeah, there you have it. Accuracy, A+. Overall, if I had to pick between the two, I would personally pick the OnePlus Watch 3. It's just, I don't like charging every day. There's already so many devices I have to charge daily, and having one less to charge daily is like, that's a godsend to me, you know? Like, I love my battery life and my fast charging. The OnePlus Watch 3 is also cheaper and more durable thanks to its stainless steel design compared to the aluminum. So, like I said, if I had to truly pick one, I'm picking the OnePlus Watch 3. How about you guys? Which one do you like? If you guys enjoyed today's video, definitely click that like button, and if you're new here, consider subscribing. And as always, this was Mark from Mark's Tech. Adios.